all yours.
Oh, wait, did you say something? Okay.
Yeah, start the time.
Ready, go.
Well, first of all, thank you for letting us come out and talk to you. I was here 2 years ago when I ran, and it was, this was a mess. We were outside, sort of hoping we'd be outside today. It's a little hot in the suit, but it was a pleasure talking to you back then, and I'm glad we can speak again. My name is Eric Peterson. I'm running for Huntington Beach City Council. I've served the city on the finance board, which was the original reason I got involved in city politics. I sort of saw some issues with our city finances, and didn't see any candidates talking about it, so I jumped in the race to try to get it in the conversation. A couple years after that, I got put on the planning commission. I'm currently the chair of the planning commission, so I've seen a lot of how the city's developing right now. Last time I spoke to you, we hadn't been annexed yet. We were right in the thralls of it. And now that you are part of our city, you in particular, my biggest concern down here is I've come here since I grew up in Huntington. I've been eating at Harbor House since I was a kid. You know, been at surf down here, get stung by stingrays down here. They're only been this way. But it's really more of a listen to the input of the people here and hands off. You know, don't get parking meters down here. Don't go into the businesses when you have to get a new occupancy and say, hey, this was built in the 20s and now you have to bring everything up to code. You know, that was my biggest concern down here. This place has a lot of character and I don't want that lost. You weren't under the same regulations as we are in Huntington Beach. We have a lot stiffer regulations in the county. So my biggest concern with this community is that we listen to you and make sure we do the right things to keep that character down. Now, primary reason I'm running, one of the reasons, is still the finances. I still want to see our unfunded liabilities taken care of. The city council is going through steps right now that are addressing some of those issues. But in the long run, we're going to have a little better pension reform because we have exponential growth, and that will impact everything in the community. When our public employees take 72% of our budget and 15% mandated for infrastructure, it starts leaving less and less for taking care of our parks, taking care of the stuff that we all find value in. So I'd like to make sure that's done. Now we can do it two ways. We can increase business and get that tax revenue going, and we can also work with the employee side. To increase business, I think the best thing, I'm a business owner in Huntington Beach. I'm an electrical contractor. I shop here in San Diego. And our biggest thing is going to be making it easy to do business and attracting the businesses that are going to be the best for Huntington. You know, right now we're tending to do this mixed use where we're getting a lot of sort of strip mall type businesses or restaurants with apartments above it. It's not attracting the white collar jobs that we need. Only 11% of Huntington Beach actually works in Huntington Beach. All the rest of us go elsewhere. So we need to attract those jobs that people can stay and work in Huntington Beach and make a living. And it brings us a good tax base so we can have everything that we want in Huntington Beach. This is a beautiful city. I'm glad you are part of it now. I had issues with letting, the annexation happening, sort of forcing you into it. I thought you should have a little more time at the time, but you're with us and here to support you definitely, because like I said, I serve here, I eat here, I shop at the farmer's market down here. I love your community, and I'm glad it's part of I'm almost done. Anyway, again, my name is Eric Peterson, running for City Council. I'd appreciate your vote. Look at my website, ericcorporation.com. I have some literature over there, and my cell phone number is on that website, and my email address is very accessible. You can call me anytime. Ask me questions. Thank you.
Hi. Good evening. Thank you for coming out tonight. I've served on the City Council for a total of 8 years, from 2000 to 2004, and then from 2010 to the present. I've had the privilege of being the mayor twice. And my real job, in addition to that, is I'm a full-time professor of biology at Cerritos Community College in Norwalk, and I've been there for 23 years. My involvement in the community when I moved into Huntington Beach in 1991 started with the Bolsa Chica issue, and I'm very proud of the job the Bolsa Chica Land Trust and community groups such as the Amigos have done in preserving Bolsa Chica. I'm proud to say that I've been the president of the Bolsa Chica Land Trust, and I remain on their board. When I ran in 2010, Joe Shaw and I ran together as a team, and we were eating over at Fish Camp, and we both said to each other, you know what, we got to make sure Sunset Beach stays funky. And I know some people, when I told them that, said, funky, we're not funky. But you do have a unique character here, and a unique charm, and even though you become part of the larger Huntington Beach, I want to make sure that that unique character and charm is maintained. Over the past 4 years, I've been serving on a council that's dealt with the largest recession since the Great Depression. And I'm glad to say that all of our revenue levels are back up above pre-recession levels. In the last 2 years, we've been able to fund 7 additional police positions. This year in the budget, and 2 community service officers positions. We're able to fund some new police cars, new fire truck, and we just passed our budget on Tuesday night, and the council made it clear to staff that as extra monies appear, that money we need to prioritize public safety with that funds. I'm also proud to be on a council that has the fiscal discipline to pay down and expedite the pay down of our unfunded liabilities. If we did nothing, our PERS safety unfunded liability, retirement unfunded liabilities, we paid off in 30 years, we just paid what it was told us to do. But we're doing more. This year we're allocating $1 million toward an expedited pay down. For every $1 million we spend now, we save $5 million of taxpayers' money in the future. So by having fiscal discipline to put the money into that, we're going to save, if the council continues this in the future, $54 million over 25 years. The PERS safety retirement is not the only unfunded liability, and we have similar plans for our other unfunded liabilities to expedite their pay down. And if, again, future councils have the same fiscal discipline, we're going to save the taxpayers $70 million over the next 25 years. That's one of the reasons I want to be re-elected, to make sure in the next 4 years we continue that. The Beach Edinger specific plan that has generated a renewal along Edinger and Beach was approved prior to my joining the council again in 2010. I supported some of that development, but not all of it. I think the more appropriate area for it is up near Center and Gothard by the Transit Center. And I did vote against the project on Beach and Ellis because I was concerned about the traffic impacts there. One of the hypotheses for this plan is that if you build housing near the amenities that people use, they're going to drive less. We're going to reevaluate this plan at the beginning of the year to see if any of those assumptions were accurate and make adjustments if we need to. But there is a demonstrated demand for high-end apartments. The Bella Terra apartments sold out so fast that the property owner raised the rents during the leasing process. And the 2-bedroom apartments in Bella Terra are rented for $2,700 a month. So there is a demand for some of that product. How much? That's the question. One of the issues on the ballot, along with the City Council, is the legalization of personal fireworks. And I wanted to let you know that I oppose adding fireworks into the charter, legalization of fireworks. I don't think it's at the level of being included in the Constitution of the city or the charter. Our police and fire chief both advise the City Council, 1 minute?
You got 1 minute.
Okay. To not end the ban, and I agreed with them, along with the Orange County Grand Jury. So I wanted to make sure you knew where I stood on that. Huntington Beach is also a leader in the county in green initiatives, and I'm very proud of that. Being sustainable is fiscally responsible. Our City Hall, City Yard, and library, with our solar array, the largest in the county, and the largest in any city in the county, generates between 1/3 and 1/2 of our electricity at a lower cost than Edison could provide us. We're also taking over our street lights from Edison, replacing the lamps with more energy efficient LED lighting to save the city money. So as far as the LCP progress on the LCP for Sunset Beach, the Coastal Commission is supposed to get comments back to the staff of our city in September this month, so we'll know more then. And I would appreciate your support in the upcoming elections.
Our first speaker. 1 second over. Just one.
My name is Mark Bixby. My wife grew up here as a child in the 70s and 80s. I grew up next door in Newport. We eventually hooked up, married, and moved to Huntington Beach in 1999. I did 2 quiet years as a software engineer until a flyer from the land trust landed on my doorstep in 2001 and said, please attend a neighborhood meeting to discuss the future of the 50-acre shade wetlands property at Costa Chica. And at that time, I had never attended a city council meeting. I knew nothing about wetlands. And I looked at this flyer and I thought, well, what's the harm in attending the meeting? And had I known how that flyer was going to change my life, I probably should have burned it. But I didn't. I attended the meeting, one thing led to another, and I'm standing here before you running for city council. As part of that whole land trust process, we end up attending a lot of public hearings, both at the city and the coastal commission level. And after several years of that, I became disillusioned at the poor quality of the data that feeds into proceedings like that. I became disillusioned by decision makers who weren't doing their homework, and it was clear they were not reading the material. I also became disillusioned by decisions that were not being made in accordance with the law. And so it occurred to me that I need to be up at the front of the room rather than at the speaker podium, and so I stepped up my involvement in city government. In 2007 through 2008, I participated in the City Council Campaign Finance Subcommittee, where I advocated for improved transparency and less conflict of interest. From 2009 to 2010, I served on the city's appointed Charter Review Committee that did a top-to-bottom rewrite of the Constitution of the city. And from 2011 until the present, I've been serving on the City Planning Commission, appointed by Connie Boardman. And the way I like to describe Planning Commission is that the workload doesn't kill you, it makes you smarter. I know how all the wheels of the city fit together. I know what works in the city, and I know what doesn't work in the city. During my time on Planning Commission, I voted to approve 1,100 residential units, 150 hotel rooms, and 150,000 square feet of commercial. But I've also said no to projects that did not comply with the law and were not a good fit for the neighborhoods, such as the Beach Ellis project. I voted against that one in addition to mine. There's many different high-profile issues facing the city today, and I'm going to speak to just 2. The most important financial issue is the city meeting its unfunded liability, specifically the diverse liability. I fully supported the council's action that they took on the budget on Tuesday to put in place that long-term financial plan to kick in an extra $1 million every year to pay down that unfunded debt. I have the personal financial discipline to do that. I'm the son of parents who were children in the Great Depression. They went through some very tough times, and that financial conservatism was passed down to me. I paid out my own mortgages decades early, and I used that discipline to work for a healthy financial city. The other most important thing, in my opinion, going on in the city today is the city's general plan update. We're taking a comprehensive look at where we want the city to be in the year 2040. We're trying to balance the needs for growth and other issues with keeping the special character of special communities of the city. And I strongly urge Sunset to participate in that ongoing process. Now is the time to provide input into that process to keep things that make Sunset unique. I'm going to carry forward my vision of responsible growth balanced by quality of life in everything that we do with that general plan update. I believe we need to have a diverse economy. We can't all sell t-shirts to tourists. We need those good industrial jobs. I'd like to see a good, strong industrial sector in the Upper Corridor. We need to have a diversity of housing types so that the people who work here can afford to live here. We also need to have transportation options beyond just the automobile. I want to see additional transit as well as improved walkability. Another important part of the general plan update is planning for sea level rise. You guys down here are on the front lines of that. I believe that's a real thing that cities should be concerned with. And we're finally now going to do the plan to identify the immediate concerns and the longer range policy issues we need to address. I currently serve on the Sea Level Rise Task Force, and I'm going to continue to drive that forward. So please consider me when it's time to vote in November. Thanks.
Mike Posey, right here. Thanks for everybody for coming. I really appreciate the audience and the opportunity. Well, my name is Mike Posey. I live downtown on Main Street since June of 1999. My wife and I bought our house after looking from Manhattan Beach to Dana Point, which chose Huntington Beach, because we saw the transformation downtown and the 8 Mile Beach. And being on Main Street, we had a front row seat to the parade. And so watching the parade for a couple of years and helping out Joe Karch in his campaign led me to serve on the 4th of July parade board for a couple of years. That kind of sparked my interest in politics and serving the city as well, of course. And Joe appointed me to the Planning Commission about a year ago. And in that year, it's been pretty exciting time. There's been a lot of controversial things that came before the Planning Commission, like the Warner Nichols rezoning from 54 potential apartments to commercial industrial, and working on Pacific City, specifically with the Sail Hotel. That was 250 rooms, and the Spring Hill Suites Marriott Hotel has 126 rooms. And I don't know if you guys know what the hotels go, and the city collects transit occupancy taxes. And just those 2 hotels are going to put about $1.5 million in the city coffers. Those 2 hotels. That's just transit occupancy taxes. So income like that, smart business development like that will help us pay down the unfunded liability. That is a hot button issue. I applaud the city council in its budget change to pay it down 24 years instead of 30 years and save $5 million over, or $5 million for $1 million spent. I'm endorsed by the Huntington Beach Chamber of Commerce PAC, the Republican Party of Orange County, the Lincoln Club, Dana Rohrabacher, Travis Allen, Matthew Harper, Michelle Steele, and Joe Karch, of course. And why I'm running for city council is I've been in business for 25 years, been a business executive for many years, and personally responsible for a $25 million budget. I can bring that discipline and that knowledge, that education to work for the city, knowing how to manage the budget, and knowing also how to build teams to bring business to the city. One of the first things I'd like to do is establish a leaders group, business leaders, maybe some city leaders, to reach out to business, make sure that they want to stay, make sure that they're going to grow and stay in Huntington Beach and not surprise us by leaving like Toyota left Carson. I don't want anything like that to happen in Huntington Beach. We also have room for a car dealer. I would work aggressively with that dealer to make sure that the negotiations go smoother so we can move here. Sales tax revenue for car dealers is significant. There's a lot of hot button issues. We can run down the senior center that needs to be built. It's already approved by the city council. They're also going to break it at the end of the year. We all know about high density. That's an issue, a hot button issue too. Beach Head and Corner specific plan is under review next year. So we should take a look at that. Special projects that the city council engaged in, called H items. I was opposed to most of them. The plastic bag ban. I think that we're old enough to decide that I'm plastic bags and not paint themselves with paper bags. It's probably going to be a good point. Fireworks. I think fireworks should be allowed safe and sane. I don't know if you guys know. Non-profit organizations themselves, safe and sane fireworks generate a lot of money. 130,000 of it last year went to pay for police and fire overtime, and $70,000 went to pay for the fireworks in the end of the year. Styrofoam bans. We ban styrofoam takeout boxes. Doesn't include anything to ban styrofoam coming from IKEA. So that's probably not a good idea either.
1 minute.
Downtown. I live downtown. I live on Main Street. I'm very familiar with the downtown issues. I'm sure you guys are too. I spent last Saturday with the police from about 9 o'clock till about 2:30 in the morning in a solid day experience. I believe we could use some more police officers. We only have 4 full-time assigned downtown on the weekends. There's an overlap of graveyard and swing shift. They come over and help out from closing time. Not as bad as we think it is, but there's issues down there. I don't think it can be solved by limiting alcohol sales. I think it can be solved by more enforcement. When we talk about limiting the number of outlets that sell alcohol, that would create a monopoly for the ones that are there. I guess that's about it. Thank you for coming. I brought brochure, and for the first 12 or 13 people, there's a coffee cup and a couple of yard signs.
Billy O'Connor.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming here tonight, giving me the opportunity to speak. I also want to thank Mike and the community forum members for putting this on. For those of you who do not know Billy O'Connor, I'd like to share a little bit about myself. I was born in New York and raised in Ireland. I came back to New York when I was 17 years of age. Worked 3 jobs, paid my way through college, graduated St. Francis College in Brooklyn with a degree in economics. I came to California in 1990, where I was a deputy sheriff for 8 years. In 1998, I saw a need in the community for homeless women and children. We started an organization for the tailgate wake-up truck, and this year we're celebrating taking over 3,000 homeless women and children off the streets. We've given hope to people that hadn't had anything. We've helped several hundred people find work, and we've given hope to people that have had none. That is one of the things I've done in our community. The reason why I run for City Council is I love this city. I've lived here for over 20 years, and I see some issues which concern me. I think we need to have good government in our city. We need to work on our public safety. We have some issues. Crime is on the rise. We need to reach out to our business community. Make it easier for businesses to do business in our community. We've got to reduce the red tape and go up to the I also believe that our infrastructure needs to be looked at as we move forward together. There was a study done several years ago where it was projected there's close to $1 billion that needs to be done in work in our community. So that's some of the stuff that I see. Now, how would I fix some of these issues? Basically, the public safety. I would try and hire more police officers. I would try and bring back the specialized units and increase the technology so our police officers can do their work more rapidly. Now with the business community, there's good things happening. Basically, I would like to see the permit process expedited, and the fire chief is working on that right now. He has what we call a permit technician, where they're working on that to try and expedite the process for people that want to do business in our community. I would try and target our public infrastructure with more funds. These are some of the things that I see happening out there. And, I'm a team builder. I can work with people both sides of the aisle. I'm proud to share with you that I've been endorsed by Republicans and Democrats. I've been endorsed by the Huntington Beach Chamber Political Action Committee. I've been endorsed by the Orange County Labour Federation. I've been endorsed by Travis Allen. I've also been endorsed by city council members from Fountain Valley, Mr. Nagel, Councilman Nagel, Steve Nagel, and Larry Crandell, Pete Bower, Joe Garcio, former councilmen and mayors, Ralph Bauer, Don McAllister. So I'm about building and giving back. That's who I am. And I believe we have an obligation to leave something better behind for the citizens in our community. I've been the co-chair of the Shelter Providers Forum in Orange County. I've also sat on the Prop 63 Steering Committee for the Mental Health Act, and I'm proud to also be a member of the Congregation of Commerce. Been very actively involved in our Kiwanis Club in Huntington Beach, where we've given back to the community. And that's what it's about for me. My commitment to you tonight here is I will work hard to meet your needs. Whatever you need, if I can help, I'll be there to help you. And I honestly believe that we can do a lot more for our city moving forward. Now, in speaking with some of the folks here tonight that live in Sunset Beach, I know there's concerns about the beach and the Coastal Commission. I've also believed that there's some legal opinion that may be floating around out there, and I like what I hear. I think we should protect the residents in our city, and we should protect them from any extra fees. So that's a little bit about me, and I would really, really appreciate your work. What I've learned in life is people will think, people will talk, and people will tell you. What I can tell you in my life, I've done it, I'm doing it, and I will continue to do it for you. So I would really appreciate your support. I'm number 6 in the ballot. I would really appreciate your support because I have a muscle ballot. And anybody that would like to speak to me afterwards, I would love to hear them. I have literature over here, but I believe we can make a better community for the people now and our future generations. Thank you so much, and I would appreciate your support.
Hi, I'm Joe Shaw. I'm the mayor for Assn. Huntington Beach. Very proud to be so. Sunset Beach has been a lot to me, as Connie mentioned earlier, and I'm happy to be here tonight while we talk about the Green Belt, because one of the things that gives me the most pleasure is being able to serve constituents. Many of you got my card already. I'm going to leave my card behind. It has my cell phone number. It has my email address. Please use those. And tell me about anything that's going on in your city, because I'm happy to be your advocate. Mike knows this. We've worked very closely with Mike as the president of the association, and he always has our ear. I've talked with Mr. Erskine about the Coastal Commission situation. We're on top of that, and we're going to make sure that that gets settled to the benefit of our residents, because we are about listening to our residents. I'm president of the Los Chica Land Trust. I've been a downtown business owner. I'm the person that came up with the idea for Surf City Nights that we have on Tuesday nights, and I served on the committee that helped create that. I've been a planning commissioner, a public works commissioner, and I served on the Charter Review Commission, and our charter is the constitution of our city. So I have a lot of knowledge about the processes of our city. And I'm here tonight running for re-election because I believe we've made great strides in economic development. We've created a positive atmosphere for business. It's demonstrated by the retail renaissance we have going on in our city, including filling up stores that were in spaces that were previously empty, like the Sprouts on Warner Boulevard. Living Spaces is coming in. We've also shepherded development at Pacific City. We're going to have upscale retail brought to the beach, and we're going to have a new hotel. I'm very proud of all those things. And this economic vitality that we've done over the last 4 years has enabled us to hire 7 new police officers, as you heard earlier, 2 community service officers, and I'm committed to hiring more police so that we can have more patrols in Sunset Beach. We are not at our pre-recession levels. I'm going to come up with a plan. I'm asking city staff to come up with a plan in January to get us to full employment of our police force so that we are covering all parts of the city. The other thing that we've done in the last 4 years is proven that being environmentally friendly and sustainable is economically important to the city. Connie mentioned our solar array, the largest in the county. I'd like to mention that taking measures to protect the ocean, to make sure that we have pristine water, is important. It's important not only for our residents who believe that that's vitally important, but it's also for our business and for our visitors. We create 4,500 of our jobs in Huntington Beach relate to tourism, and $1 million a day is spent on Huntington Beach by our visitors. So taking care of our ocean is of the utmost importance. I'm also proud, as I said earlier, I'm the president of the Los Chica Land Trust. For the last year, I've been working very hard to save the last 2 privately owned pieces of land in Los Chica. We're working now with conservancies to purchase those 2 sites and make them into a park. I'm very proud of that, and that's going to happen. It's really important that we preserve these ancient sites and these sites along the coast that once they're gone, they're going to be gone forever, and it's very important to save them. Finally, I just want to talk about our record on fiscal responsibility. We're paying off one of our unfunded liabilities, the PARS retirement liability. We're paying off 2 more early. One we're going to pay off in 16 years instead of 25 years. Another we're going to pay off in 10 years instead of 25 years. And we have a plan that we adopted at our budget meeting on Monday night to pay off our safety liability, safety unfunded liability, 4 years early, pay an extra $1 million every year, and save taxpayers not $5 million, but $55 million over that 26-year period. So our city is moving forward economically, sustainably. We're improving our quality of life. and our vision of this fiscally responsible, economically vital, and environmentally sustainable community has produced great results in the last 4 years. I'm very proud of that. And I'm asking you to re-elect me so that we can continue to move forward. Thank you.
Barbara Del Williams.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight. One of the things I love best about Huntington Beach is that we were fortunate to annex Sunset Beach. And why I'm grateful about that is I've been luckily lived in Huntington Beach since 1974 and started coming to the beach here in Sunset about 3 years later with my little girl down on 7th Street. Why did I go there? Because there was a bathroom. Very few beaches had a bathroom and it made it easy for us to go. So some background about myself is I've lived in the city 40 years. I'm a realtor by trade. I will celebrate my 39th year next year. And one of the reasons I'm so passionate about where I live is that I advocate for my city every single day. It's an amazing, I feel blessed that I get to live here. So through my work, being an advocate for my community, I know how important it is that we have good roads, good infrastructure, and I was appointed to the infrastructure committee about 12 years ago, and that's where my journey pretty much started. And I can tell you, we learned a lot about what was working in the city and what's not. And somewhat like Sunset Beach, Huntington Beach is old. We just celebrated our 100th birthday in 2009. And a lot of the original infrastructure was put in way back in the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s, especially during the 60s and 70s boom. And it needs to be updated. And I understand that people are, will get pushed back sometimes on some of the development, but what I also know is smart development also pays for a lot of our infrastructure. And one of the benefits that we've had is over the last, I'd say 3 to 7 years, the sustainability side has really, really grown in the community. The city took some very good measures and decided to bring in and foster sustainability not only in the city hall, but city projects. And I think the community is also raising its understanding through a lot of the chamber events, through the chamber and the city, putting on expos, green expos. And how does that impact you? It's the quality of life. We do need to hire more police officers. The recession hit us pretty hard that way, but I know our new chief, who I know came to your community association meeting that you met, he's got a vision for our community. I'm excited about what he wants to do. I was actually kind of appalled to learn that we really didn't have, or don't have currently, a strategic plan in place to hire more police officers. And in talking to him, we would like to do something about this over the next 5 to 20 years. And why is that important? Because somewhere between 40 to 45% of our police officers are going to be retiring over the next 5 to 7 years. And so you can't hire all those people in one day. You need to slowly wean them in, because you do people that come across from other police departments, and then of course new people as well. The other thing that I'm very passionate about is transportation. One of the benefits of the Beach Edgewater Corridor is that there was a real goal to connect a lot of the city. We don't see a lot of the fruition, and it's going to come to fruition right now, but it is in the works. I can tell you that the Beach Edgewater Corridor, when it first came into place, really was trying to address a lot of the sins that we have on those two roads. If you recall, we had Montgomery Wards that had been closed for a long, long time, a Levitt site that was was underdeveloped, and there was a lot of height along Beach Boulevard where we didn't have businesses or residents driving. So a lot of that's happened now in the last couple of years, and people are a little bit overwhelmed. So it does need to be looked at again. We need to check and see where we can improve it and maybe streamline it a little bit better. Well, thank you. Walkability is very, very important. I'm excited about what's happening downtown with our Pacific City, with the development of another hotel. What excites me is I'm also on the city's Visitors and Marketing Bureau. What's exciting about being on that committee is it's a very exciting committee because they're always talking about new and great things that are going to come to the city. Well, what I believe is that the city council did make some very good decisions about paying down our pensions, and by that, we will be able to use some of that TOT to hire our new police officers and improve our marine safety, because honestly, none of us knew this, but we happen to live in one of the greatest places, right, in the county or the state. We have 10 miles of beach that we get to be close to, and we need to preserve it and take care of it and be good stewards of it. And that's how I feel about our community in Sunset Beach. It's a very charming and simple community. I would like to see it stay that way. We do need the issues that you expressed addressed, and I believe through the committee that you and some of your residents serve on, that the city leaders will take action and take care of the items that are on that for you. I am excited about running. I would love your vote, and I'm done. I'm just going to say my cards and things are over here. I'll stick around if you'd like to.
Last but not least, City Council as well. Thank you all of you for having us here tonight on this warm evening. It's wonderful to see the involvement. I appreciate that. So, a little bit about myself. I went to Beach High School, and then from there went to UCLA to get my bachelor's, and down to the University of San Diego School of Law to receive my Juris Doctorate. My first practice was down there. I'm a business and real estate transactional attorney. And I came from a family that's very involved in their community service. So very quickly down there, I became involved, and I was chair of the Community Services Committee for the Bar Association down there. And through that, I worked with homeless veterans, providing pro bono legal services to help them get off their feet, solving their problems, and also was one of the initial volunteers at the San Diego Superior Court Domestic Restraining Order Clinic for abused women. And through those activities, I saw a need for homeless women that really were not being served in that community. So I became co-chair, family co-chair of an event where we served 400 battered homeless women in the first year. And what we did was we had the whole thing underwritten by law firms, because I believe that if you don't want government to have to spend a lot of money on things, you need to step up as private citizens and attempt to do things that way. That's what I've always done in my life. And so again, we had an underwritten, we had all lawyers and doctors and dentists and free clothing and hairstylists and so forth, all the available services to help us with. And that event's still going on 25 years later. So those were some of the things I did earlier in my career. But then when my children were born, my husband and I decided we wanted to come up here and raise them in this community, because this is where I had grown up. And we bought our home, but very quickly I needed to get involved again and use my skills, and that was because my daughter was diagnosed with autism. And so being an attorney, I was approached by a lot of parents and asked to see the school districts on behalf of parents for better services. But that's not really who I am. I'm somebody that's a collaborator, and I believe that we need to find a commonality and try to work together to better our communities. And so instead, I became co-chair of a group called the Autism Resource Circle. And our goal was to really bridge that gap between the special ed administrators and the parents, bring them together. We did activities like roundtable discussions to find out where the problems were. We did a lot of education, we did support groups and so forth. And the whole idea was really to channel funds away from litigation into better services. So that was really good. Dave Sullivan appointed me, Councilmember and former Mayor Dave appointed me to the Investment Advisory Committee. So I started becoming more involved and aware of some of the financial issues in our city. And then he appointed me to the Planning Commission. And again, became more concerned about some of the things that I was seeing. And one of those, so that kind of spurred me to want to become more involved with City Council. And one of the things that's been talked about by pretty much everyone tonight, but that I'm quite concerned about, is the pace of the high-density residential development that's going on up on Beach and Management corridor. And I know there's been a lot of discussion tonight about, yes, we need to look at that, but I do think that it's really critical that we are concerned about that, because I think that the infrastructure is not in place in some of those. We're seeing some horrific traffic. And you know, as I'm out in the city at different forums and talking to people in precincts, walking and so forth, that is the concern that comes up the most. And so I think we as citizens really need to get involved in this general plan update. Let your voice be heard, whatever your opinion is. It's our opportunity to do so. Another issue I'm passionate about is making this a very business-friendly city. I hear from business owners often that it's very difficult to get through the process here when starting or expanding a business. So we need to streamline that permit process further and make it easier. We need to work more on pro-economic development, bringing more tourism. And lots of people said as well tonight, but I think it's critical. The city is fabulous, the hotels are fabulous, but we need to do more of that. So again, I'm Linda Smeta, and I appreciate your vote. You're number 2 on the ballot, which is nice. So thank you again.